Donning instructions are in front of you. Front row, you can look all you want because the second row's got your life jacket. Second row, you want to behave your crew. If they spit in the wind, talk bad about the pilot or otherwise offend any of us in the boat, don't give them their life jackets for less than $50 a piece. What else do I got? Hats. Pin them down, staple them on, turn them backwards. Whatever you got to do, it costs you $20 to get your hat back out of this river when it flies off at top speed of 102 miles an hour. Last but not least, ladies, your hair is looking good. Sorry you spent any time on that because we're going to change that in about 1 minute here. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can see it up there. Big bird, about 10 pounds. Probably got a 6 to 7 foot wingspan immediately above you, taking a look at you. Lived to be about 20 years old in the wild. That's where we got the Applegate name from for the river. They actually overwintered there. They were the group that developed the trail from Fort Hall, Idaho, which was the last stopping place on the original Oregon Trail, coming out this direction and up north towards the Willamette Valley where folks were settling. What happened to them was, unfortunately, they lost 3 family members when a raft overturned on the original Oregon Trail, crossing the Columbia River. Used to have to do that. They devoted 4 years to exploring a route down here. By the time it was developed, it's known today as I-5 north and south. That was the route for Eugene, modern-day Rosebud, down this area, and then taking it east down there by Ashland over what's called Green Springs Highway. And that's how folks came out like a pond and hanging out with themselves in the day and go down and sleep in the weeds at night. So, pretty cool. We don't want to get real close. They're pretty aggressive. They can jump about 15 feet here. It's about 19 feet here, so we'll stay out here. Don't know those big black birds actually have a better sense of smell than a Labrador retriever, so that's what they do up there. They soar around, they smell a dead fish or some roadkill. Not hard to smell that, but they can do it from up to a half mile in the air. And then they go ahead and clean up nature. That's kind of their job. How about that spin? That's a little extra money for you guys right there. What is that? Yeah. Oh, I've never seen that. Thank you for pointing that out. I was wondering. It's an osprey. That's the osprey nest, and that is a juvenile. That's not one of the adults. So it's getting pretty big. They were born about 3 months ago. There were 3 in the nest. I don't know if a bald eagle got the other ones or what happened, but I have not seen anything other than that one moving in the nest for like about 4 days. There were 3, and like I said, the bald eagles love to make osprey nuggets out of them, and maybe that's what happened. I don't know. Could be in a red-tailed hawk too, maybe. But anyhow, the osprey's life is all about water because its diet is 99% fish. I'm 40 years old, and only twice in my whole time in the outdoors have I ever seen an osprey as anything other than a fish. Both times it was a duck. But that's a juvenile, so it's been growing all summer. This is the breeding ground of them. So now, in order to catch fish, nature's given us some pretty special rules earlier. They'll strengthen themselves, and pretty soon they'll just start learning to dive, too. That's kind of neat. The parents teach them how to fish by dropping the dinner instead of the nest over the shallow squeeze to watch that modified belly flop thing that he does. It sort of himself. It's kind of cool, too. Well, just ahead of Sneak attack. Man, you had a question? I'm sorry about that. I told you I'm skilled at ignoring questions. It will. It'll still bring in food and stuff. And I think what happens is when the oldest chick, they're born about 5 or 6 days apart. So just like, you know, in nature, they can't lay 3 eggs at once. So they lay them apart. And what will happen is the biggest one becomes the dominant chick. Oftentimes they'll either starve or even kick out the smaller chicks out of the nest. But both parents will take turns feeding that baby right up through the next year when they're in South America. The juveniles will actually stay down there for 3 more years. This is their breeding ground. So every osprey in the spring and April, when we come back, when they come back, we'll see our adults. So yeah, they'll still help them fish. So it's pretty neat. Matter of fact, one of the adults is over here, and it's probably from its lower nest. They're really tolerant of each other. So we see nests really close to each other. The food sources are so good. And it's right there on the shoreline there on the right side. It just looks like it's got a little fish sitting there picking at it. So they'll go and eat all the real nutritious parts. They'll eat the head off of them. Kind of weird. They're such great parents. They'll never take a live fish back to the nest. I don't know whether it's because they want to eat the head first for themselves to help themselves, but they tell us it's mostly because they don't want to bring a live fish back there where it might knock a chick or an egg out of the nest. So we never see them bring a chick, go right to the water, grab a fish, and then come back out. So really neat. They're lots of fun. When we fish out, with $100 entice you to jump right into where the boat is. Not me, but they actually played Matt Dillon actually did that, the famous scene right here. They made a $100 bet with his stuntman that he would do it instead of the stuntman, and he did it to his head right in the water. Now, I talked about the water depth maybe about 100 feet. The reason I don't know for sure is since we've had the dam upstream, it's doubtful that the big floodwaters have been able to scour it out. So they're probably sanding down and gradually filling this thing up. The last official measurement was taken in 1957 at 140 feet. There's a company out here called Pacific Power and Light. Yep, that's our power company. They were the original owners of Hellgate Canyon. Their idea was to put a dam back there, hydroelectricity. They were the original owners of it. Luckily, though, the next 68 wild and scenic riverways actually possess the 78-mile section of the road that we're going to get the Appalachian Indian Agriculture for the dam in this stretch. So it was used for them. They gave it to the federal government. So tax break to today, you and I are on this Hellgate. I don't find it kind of a cool little family tradition I do. Every April 15th, I do a little very the amount of money I have to pay my government I don't mind paying taxes. I'm just staying here in America. I'm happy to do that. I don't stop here. I was getting kind of bitter. I didn't want to be able to bitter because and so we said, here's the problem. This is federal land. You can pay 50 and call this canyon Takelma. They believe that means ancient warrior in their tongue. They were banned from people anywhere from 50 to 100 that scattered anywhere from the Cold Beach, Crescent City area on the California coast all the way up to Little Rock there in Medford. They believe this was the resting place of their ancestors. They thought the spirits would come, so a lot of times we go to some places in the rocks, we take school kids out here. That is how we practice our skills. After a long winter, we start our trips on May 1st, and we take over 3,000 school kids every year up and down and teach them about the history here, do a little nature, and actually hone our skills. They're not here as valuable as you full paying customers, so that's how we go ahead and get ourselves tuned up after a long weekend off. Folks oftentimes ask, how the heck did you get a job like this? And truth be told, I was one of those river rat kids. I grew up in Corvallis up there in the Willamette Valley. My mom used to take us. We had 5 kids, so she knew she could always get another one if needed. She'd take us about 6 miles out of town because it was cheap daycare and throw us in a leaky inner tube and hope one of us didn't make it back. She was wrong in that. We always made it back. And actually, 2 of my brothers as well as myself have all worked in Alaska as fishing guides, and we have Coast Guard licenses for 25 transactions.